Bon, alors, qu'est-ce que c'est que ce jeu? Entrée l'heure actuelle. Pour l'instant, ça commence bien. D'accord. Alors, c'est-à-dire qu'en fait, il est 21h34. Déjà, c'est un premier énigme. On va essayer de ne pas se tromper. 21h34, on est d'accord? Confirmé. Il est incroyable ce jeu. C'est quoi ce jeu qui ne sait même pas lire l'heure du PC? J'avoue. Ok, faut que je clique. Avant de commencer, est-ce que je peux dire quelque chose? Ce jeu, il va me rendre fou, je pense. Attendez, je vais juste déplacer la caméra. Donc ça va rebugger, évidemment. Voilà. Hop, je redéplace un tout petit peu la caméra. Voilà, voilà, super, super. Hop, voilà. Et là, normalement, ça va revenir. Voilà. Ok. Ça va, vous? Merci d'avoir vraiment réglé l'heure. Les 2 fois où vous avez lancé le jeu. Oui, parce que j'ai lancé le jeu juste une fois. En fait, j'ai lancé le jeu une fois pour savoir si ça fonctionnait. Et quand j'ai vu qu'il fallait rentrer l'heure, j'ai rentré l'heure. Et après, il y avait marqué « Attendez, machin et tout ». Et là, je dis « Merde, le jeu commence ». J'ai fait Alt F4. C'est tout ce que j'ai vu du jeu. Ce soir se joue uniquement de 11h46 à 11h47. Quoi? Ok. Tant de gens ne prennent pas cette étape au sérieux. Ils laissent l'heure régler sur 12 heures et basta. Mais vous avez pris le temps d'indiquer l'heure et je vous en suis reconnaissant. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce jeu? Je sais ainsi que vous vous souciez de votre expérience. Votre attention est focalisée sur le jeu. D'ailleurs, je n'ai aucun moyen de vérifier si l'heure que vous avez entrée est correcte. Il est incroyable ce jeu. Je vais vous dire, nous allons passer à un marché. Puisque vous faites preuve de tellement de bonne volonté, la prochaine fois que vous lancerez le jeu et verrez cet écran, vous n'aurez qu'à saisir votre heure préférée. D'accord, je ferai les 4 heures. Allez-y, choisissez l'heure que vous voulez, même si ce n'est pas la bonne heure, vous l'avez bien mérité. Quoi? Quoi? Sur ce, je vous laisse accéder au jeu. Merci. Hein. Ah d'accord. Ok. Alors, est-ce qu'on en parle que dans l'ordi, on me voit là. Paramètres. Français, activé, vibration des manettes, il n'y en a pas. Audio, d'accord, ouais. Vidéo, ouais. Hop, ok, choix 60. Ça, on verra. Normalement, ça devrait pas ramer pour vous. Ça devrait être mieux pour moi. Voilà, on est tout à fond là, tout à fond. ZQSD, c'est parfait. Ok. Le setup de Gitu. Ah bah c'est exactement ça. Hein. Ah bah c'est comme ça que je stream. Ah mais attends, à tout moment j'ai le téléphone là. Allô? Bon, on y va? Est-ce que peut-être qu'il y aura une vidéo YouTube? On verra. Et YouTube, peut-être qu'il y aura une vidéo sur ce jeu. S'il y en a une, tant mieux. S'il n'y en a pas, tant pis. Mais bienvenue à toi sur cette vidéo. Je suis vraiment un YouTuber, les gars. Je suis fait pour ça. Allez, commencez le jeu. On y va. Et first the end, quoi, the never, je sais pas quoi.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
Faut que je note.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
Il tape un doigt, ça doit être long.
Stanley was happy.
Mais s'il est heureux, c'est le principal, le Stanley.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley.
Ah.
Something he would never quite forget.
Ah.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Je suis Stanley apparemment. Donc là, je suis le jour où j'ai pas pu taper avec un doigt sur l'écran. Et je comprends pas quoi. Du coup, ils ont pas mis mon heure. Bon. D'accord. Ok. Pourquoi quand je fais clic droit, j'avance? Ok. Stanley, il glisse. Il avance pas, il glisse. I hate Sunday. Attendez, j'essaie de toucher, de voir les touches. Bon, je vais visiter, hein. Par contre, il y trace, hein. Y'a quelqu'un?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bah, peut-être que... peut-être, je sais pas, qu'il y a eu une évacuation incendie? Je sais pas, hein. Hate Monday. Ah bah, chacun son jour, hein.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ou farted, qui a pété. Ah d'accord. Covid. Bah ouais, autrement, c'est tous en télétravail. Bien sûr. Oh non. Ah. Eh ben j'ai éteint le...
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Donc en fonction de ce que je fais... Ok. Qu'est-ce que c'est ce bordel? Par contre, le problème, c'est que vu qu'il y a vraiment personne, si à un moment donné, il y a un gars au fond du couloir là-bas qui me regarde, ça va me faire flipper. C'est quoi ça? Ah, à chaque fois que je touche à quelque chose... Ok. C'est fluide au fait? Ouais, c'est super fluide, ok. Ça a l'air d'être super fluide sur le retour en tout cas. Ok. Hate Monday, ouais. Tous les mêmes tasses. Bonjour. Et ces longs couloirs là, ça me donnait un peu des frissons quand même. C'est quoi ce bordel? Une discartière. Protection. C'est tellement grand. Qu'est-ce que c'est ce bordel? Donc là, ils me disent d'aller à gauche. Est-ce que j'écoute ou pas? Est-ce que je fais le bon toutou? Je fais quoi? Est-ce que je vais à droite directement? Je fais le rebelle? Ouais, mais attends. On les connaît ces jeux. Hein. Je fais le rebelle et derrière je suis puni par des screamers. Ouais, on y va, on va à droite.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Par la salle de pause, bien sûr, par la salle de pause. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel? Ah, la salle de pause.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all. just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
J'ai pas le temps de lire. À contempler quoi? Acheter un café.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Je crois qu'il se fout de moi là. Non? Il se fout de moi là, non?
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
La première porte sur la gauche. Ah, est-ce que je l'écoute ou est-ce que je vais tout droit? Oh, je fais vraiment me rebelle jusqu'au bout.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Il s'énerve. Il s'énerve. Ok. If you're lying right now, stop. Ah. Par contre, il va falloir arrêter de fermer les portes derrière moi, quoi. Non, mais on est où, là? 1000... Ah oui, oui, une sacrée pénalité, ouais. D'accord, d'accord. Oh, il y a du monde, là. Ouais, monsieur, là-bas. Oh non, j'ai fait clic droit.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
J'ai réussi à mourir dans ce jeu. Oh non, j'ai réussi à mourir. En fait, clic droit, ça fait avancer. Mais j'ai tellement l'habitude que ça zoome dans les jeux d'habitude.
All his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Yes, this room.
Hop.
What about eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
C'est une feinte, je vais par là en fait.
Stanley was so bad
Ok.
at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't 5 years ago.
Ok, j'en étais à là et je regardais le camion. Non, je ne vais pas cliquer droit. Je ne vais pas retomber. Je ne suis pas comme ça quand même. Est-ce que je vais là-dessus?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps you've
Ok.
gotten off on the wrong
Ok.
foot here. I'm not your
Je suis
enemy.
pas votre ennemi, vraiment pas.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Je te fais pas
The
confiance.
fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ah. Donc là, on parle apparemment d'une femme qui m'attend. Voilà, ce noir dans la porte là. J'ai l'impression d'être dans... Comment ça s'appelle là? Poppy Playtime. Non, c'est pas les clips. Allô?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Mais je sais pas comment décrocher. Ah, ça y est, je décroché. Allô? Allô?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your day.
Gotcha! Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Bonjour, on paye 427, appuie sur K sur le clavier.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc?
every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature
Il me met
of
trop
his
mal.
existence.
Feuille appuyer sur B. J'ai plus envie de t'écouter. Il me respecte pas.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Quoi?
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Laissez-moi sortir. Je veux pas appuyer sur B.
But in his mind, in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures.
Du
From
coup,
behind his desk,
il est en train de dire que
Stanley
Stanley avait une vie de merde, quoi.
wild expeditions into the unknown.
C'est un peu ça, c'est
Fantastic
ça.
discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his
Apparemment très froide, ouais.
coworkers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Pour passer du temps entre potes.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Pour préparer le dîner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Pour lire une histoire aux enfants.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again.
Quoi?
And then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Pour dire à votre femme que vous l'aimez.
But there is no answer.
Il n'y a pas de réponse. Comment
In
pourriez-vous?
reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Bah, super.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
C'est ça que je dois pas appuyer ou c'est la prochaine. Non, c'est la prochaine fois que je suis sur l'ordinateur au boulot.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
T'énerve pas. Appuie sur Y pour ne rien remettre en question. Je sais pas si je dois appuyer ou pas là. J'appuie sur d'autres touches. Y.
Suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to.
Okay.
I must.
Ok.
Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Hein? Comment ça? Comment ça? Comment ça je suis mort? Je suis mort là? Je suis mort?
All of his co-workers were gone.
Je suis mort! C'est une boucle.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ok, je vais l'écouter. Je vais l'écouter. Je vais prendre la porte de gauche.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
J'ai pris la porte de gauche, hein.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ouais. Office party. Ok. Ouais. Les dollars, un maximum de dollars. Un maximum de dollars, bien sûr. Everyone is unique. Attends, qui appuie sur les touches là? Je ressens enfin ce truc. La monnaie. La monnaie, les September, tout ça quoi, on connaît. September de Twitch quoi. 20% sur votre abonnement. Bref, allez, on y va. Oh. Oh, ça fait du bien de pouvoir ouvrir une porte. Oh, mais si je rentre là-dedans, il va se passer des dingueries, non?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Attends, je suis sûr que je peux trouver quelque chose. Laisse-moi prendre la clé à molette, là. Le balai.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Il va s'énerver.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way.
Allez.
As it is, he's literally just standing there, coming to a staircase. Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Autre ambiance. Bonjour. Exécutive bathroom. Comment ça? Beau délire. Ouais, c'est un bon délire. Bonjour. D'accord.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Ça va, il n'y a pas trop de hauteur.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course,
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Faut noter. 2845. Vous l'avez? You got it?
Yet incredibly,
Let's go.
by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Le coup de bol.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Attends, mais c'est quoi ce délire là? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce truc? Je suis où là? Et c'est parti! Il fait tourner les serviettes. Non, rien à voir. Rien à voir.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Prendre un coup de jus, moi.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Centre de contrôle mental. Si la lumière est sur on, il faut appeler le 914 immédiatement. Comme l'impression que la lumière est sur on. Ah Ah, le fameux. Ça pue cette histoire là, je vais encore mourir là. Je vais là ou je vais là moi? Gauche ou tout droit là? Gauche ou tout droit les gars? Je vous laisse le choix, je vous laisse le choix. Gauche-droit, bon, super. Au milieu, quoi. Au milieu. En fait, Steve, tu veux que j'aille là, quoi. Ça marche pas. Droite, gauche. Ah, bon, nickel. Hop. Ah, ça ne marche pas non plus. Bah, en fait, là, ça ne me dit rien qui vaille avec toute la fumée, là. Tu vois, la fumée, là? Du coup, je me dis, je vais peut-être aller là. Centre de contrôle mental. Ils ne mourront pas. Ça va, métalleux? Ils mourront pas. Je suis beaucoup trop intelligent. Je suis en retard des os. T'inquiète. En chaud? Alors, c'est-à-dire que, en fait...
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret
oui.
did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Bah, un jeu VR, le prochain jeu VR.
To find out.
Horizon VR. Waouh. Ok. Il n'y a pas grand monde ce soir. Hein. Eh oui, il n'y a pas grand monde. Effectivement. Attends, on joue à un jeu un peu bizarre là. Il se passe des choses. Caméra.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
400, ça c'est où? Je suis là moi. Attendez, parce qu'il y a des caméras où il y avait marqué Fired. Genre le 104. Lui, je sais pas trop. Il y en a que deux. Personne dans le bureau. Oh, il y en a un qui est effacé là-haut, le 234. Je vais noter. C'est quoi ça? Ok, ça je vais noter, je vais noter là. 104, il est Firehead. Et l'autre c'est le combien? 200 combien? Il est en rouge là. Le 234, il est effacé. Attendez. Faites voir. On voit pas là. Effacé. Et lui là, je sais pas si c'est le 601 ou 602 en fait. J'arrive pas à savoir si c'est 601, 602. Il est Firehead. Il y en a pas d'autres, hein? Je crois pas, hein? Oh, il y en a en bas aussi, là. Je sais même pas si c'est intéressant de voir ça, hein. Pareil, il y en a qui sont allumés. Bon, allez, on y va. C'est noté en tout cas. Ascenseur?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
C'est horrible.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Sans contrat. En parlant de contrat. Alors, remettez-le. Comment tu vas?
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His
Pirate.
own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Ouais, ok.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Je peux faire de la musique, c'est quoi le délire là? Oh là, je peux faire un truc comme ça. Mais j'ai pas de... Ok. C'était cool le paragraphe, c'est bien? C'est à 1h26 du mat. Oh merde, le plan foireux. Oh le plan 3. Comment ça 3? Le plan foireux. Je suis rentré, je me suis écroulé. Tu m'étonnes. Là, il y a 1, 2. Contrôle disable. Ok. J'ai pas trop envie d'aller là-dedans. Tout est offline. Offline. Un gros bouton là. J'ai envie d'appuyer dessus. Je vais essayer d'appuyer sur la touche 1. La touche 1 quoi. Sinon c'était cool. Ouais, par Astérix, c'est cool ça. Moi pas comprendre. Tu l'auras un jour. Tu l'auras. Mettez-le. Le 4. Where is the 4? Il y a le 5. Il est où le 4? Quelqu'un a vu le 4? Un, 2, 3. Peut-être que le 4 est là-bas. Il y a 3. Il n'y a pas de 4. Pas de 4. Pas de 4, pas de 4, hein. A wedding in boats. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Du coup, faut que je fasse off. J'aurais peut-être pas dû. J'aurais pas dû. C'était peut-être pas le bon bouton. Peut-être que c'était pas le bon bouton.
And a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Oui.
Freedom was mere moments
Oui.
away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Ah.
Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Ah, tant pis pour les collègues.
What mysteries did this strange building hold?
C'est pas grave, hein.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power
Voilà.
that he had been seeking,
Voilà, le bonheur, le bonheur.
but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know.
Attends, mais
It
c'est
was
vrai cette histoire-là?
the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Ah, c'est pas un écran?
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
Oh.
The feeling of liberation.
Sentez cette fraîcheur ou pas?
The possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Fin du jeu. Vous la sentez, hein? Oui, il est court, au fait, hein, Spider-Man Miles Morales. Hein. Il est court. Hein. Ah bah, tu as fini le jeu? J'ai fini le jeu, là? J'ai fini... Non. J'ai fini le jeu? Non, j'ai pas fini le jeu, là. Si? C'est juste pour revivre des boucles temporelles?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
comment
had
dire?
simply missed a memo.
Bon, bah, on a fait le tour, quoi.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room. And
Je vais faire
Stanley
ça
knew
et je vais aller à
that
gauche
well.
après.
Perhaps he wanted to stop
On
by
ne sait
the
pas où sont ses
employee
collègues.
lounge first,
Oui, c'est vrai.
just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art.
Là, je vais aller à gauche.
To get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Alors, soit je vais là, soit je vais là. Mais là, en fait, c'est la salle de réunion là-bas. Donc, je vais retraverser. Je vais passer par là.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Troll de fou.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Quoi?
Down, right, left, down...
On va le fumer. Attends que je te vois, toi.
Okay, yes, I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Bonjour, monsieur.
No, No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Alors, alors. alors, c'est-à-dire que, bon. Est-ce qu'on n'essaierait pas d'aller soit au 104, soit au 234, soit au 601 en termes de bureau?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bon, là, je suis au 4e étage.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
J'ai rien touché.
Move the story
J'ai rien fait.
Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
Je sais pas où aller du coup. Attends, parce que là, ça se rejoint en fait. Juste ferme pas les portes derrière moi, s'il te plaît. Ok.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Je mettais un plomb.
Co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ah, j'ai peut-être raté un mémo en salle de réunion.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong.
Mais...
It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Mais... Laisse-moi tranquille.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
J'en étais sûr. Oula! Ouais, par contre, cette ambiance-là, elle est incroyable. Oh, ça, j'adore. On a 3 semaines sans contrat, comme on dit. Eh oui, mais le Z-Event. Z-Event, c'est tout neuf, tout ça. Un métalleux, toi, c'est le Z-Event tous les jours.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
C'est pour la bonne cause.
I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work.
C'est quoi ce jeu?
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Stanley Parable Adventure Line. J'ai l'impression que je dois suivre la ligne jaune. J'ai l'impression qu'il n'y a pas plus clair là. Là, je peux pas me perdre. C'est impossible. Ça me fatigue. Allez, on y va.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Bon, on y va. Hein. C'était pas ouvert là avant. Bref, j'ai vu du solitaire. J'ai vu le solitaire. Je me suis dit pourquoi pas.
You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward,
Qu'est-ce qu'il
are we
dit?
implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office,
Qu'est-ce qu'il dit?
is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Mais c'est quoi ce bordel? Allez!
Cut the music, go back and look at that fern.
Comment ça fait demi-tour aller voir la fougère?
Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Voilà, alors, qu'est-ce qu'il va faire maintenant? Qu'est-ce qu'il va faire maintenant? Ok. Hop, à tout moment, j'ai ça à côté de moi. Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire maintenant? Tu veux un clip? Pourquoi pas? Ok.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Quoi, je me suis trompé d'endroit? Si, c'était par là. Oh, il me faut un doute. C'était bien par là, non? Oh, si je vais là, c'est la fin. Attendez là. Attendez là. Parce que du coup... Là, il y avait la fougère. Ah si, c'était là. C'était par là. Là, c'est le début, là. Là-bas, c'est le début. Non, bah tant pis, hein. Je suis, hein. Je suis et la fougère, quoi.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ok.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Je ne comprends rien à ce jeu. Effectivement, moi non plus.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild.
Je tourne en rond là.
Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley.
Je tourne en
I'm
rond.
ready for it.
Ok.
Oh no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Ça recommence, ouais. C'est une boucle, hein. Ok. Allez. Aucune idée.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we must
Gauche ou droite?
squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere.
Comment ça
Which
tourne en
means
rond?
that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go,
Ça tourne en rond.
a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Tu fais pas le rebelle en tournant dans l'autre sens? Parce que je suis un mouton, Pascal. Je sais pas quoi dire d'autre. Voilà. Oh. C'est la fin? Là, tu me fais...
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide?
Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce
Why
bordel?
don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be.
C'est quoi ça?
The game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Quoi? Hein? Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est quoi? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Qu'est-ce que c'est que cette merde? Attendez. Parce que du coup, j'avais ça enregistré sous... Attendez, on va chercher ça sous le bureau là. What the fuck 1. Hop. Parce que du coup là, j'ai été malin. Mais regardez. Ah ah. Hop, je suis enregistré sous. What the fuck 2. Alors attendez, qu'est-ce qu'on a fait là? Alors, on va regarder. Le bureau et maintenant sont situés. Ça, philosophie absurde et musique. Ça, on l'a eu. Retourner au bureau, retourner à la salle des écrans. S'aventurer vers des territoires vierges. Retrouver la ligne. Trouver le programme de la fin troublante. Ok. Là, on est au 5e. Le narrateur oublie qu'il a déjà relancé le jeu. Donc là, normalement, on en est à là, ça. Là, il essaie de suivre l'histoire, mais il est empêché. Il peut aller nulle part, ni faire quoi que ce soit. Le jeu se relance tout seul. Là, on en est à là, vous pensez? Vous savez quoi? Je mets là. Et on verra bien. Oula.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe hein? Je veux savoir maintenant.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Porte de
he
gauche.
entered the door on his left.
Je l'écoute. Un mémo dans la salle de réunion.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
J'essaie de cliquer un peu partout, mais... Bah non, il n'y a pas de mémo. Hein. Non, pas Nemo. Help, I'm a post-it. Comment ça, help, I'm a post-it? Quoi? Comment ça, là? Quoi? Tout. Oula. Attendez, il y avait un bug, on est d'accord, là, quand j'étais là. Il y avait un bug un peu sur l'écran, non? Je peux pas monter là? We have our new product. Money. Profit. Ouais, ça c'est Activision, ça, Microsoft. Bon bah, y a rien dans cette salle là. Y a rien. Essaie de suivre l'histoire, mais il est empêché, ne peut aller nulle part ni faire quoi que ce soit. Le jeu se relance tout seul. Donc je serai pas là, moi? Je sais pas. Hein. Ça c'est le placard à balai là. Y a Rien à faire.
No, oh no, 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 not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Je suis descendu. Eh, je suis descendu. Regarde l'écran. Ah, trop tard.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Ouais.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Ouais.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Ouais.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he
Qu'est-ce qui
came
se
to
passe
the
là?
conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh,
This is all a dream.
felt to have
Notorious
finally
B.I.G.
found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while
Il
I'm
parle tout le
still
temps.
lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground.
Quoi?
Then he imagined himself
Je vole.
soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled.
Quoi? Mais pardon.
Was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest
Mais-
question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all,
C'est un au travail tout
he
simplement.
was
J'ai l'impression.
certain that this was
Hein?
in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Laisse-moi me réveiller.
Let me go back to my job. Let
Allez,
me
s'il te plaît.
continue pushing the buttons. Please.
Je veux juste appuyer sur les
It's
touches.
all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my
Et mon
job.
travail.
All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
I am okay.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office, I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real, I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
C'était complètement barré.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to her.
Ah, c'est moi ça, je reconnais.
Then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man.
Peut-être sauter du C'est moi tout à l'heure quand j'ai sauté.
This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But
Elle est
then
horrible.
she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
I am dead.
And then she turned and ran.
Bah, je suis mort. Fin du jeu. Téléphone. C'est celui-là?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you
Help
or
me.
someone in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages.
Y'a pas de traduction.
Anytime you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere.
Pourquoi tu parles de massage?
And have a pleasant day.
Tu parles de massage. Je vous laisse, je suis KO. Bonne nuit, métalleux. Bonne nuit, à demain c'était là. Un nouveau let's play. Bonne nuit. Et bon courage avec ton contrat et ton boulot. Demain sera le bon jour. Ah. Demain on y croit. On y croit tous. On y croit tous au paradis. Alors. I like work. I just hate my boss. Ah d'accord. Je dois m'endormir sur mon clavier. Pas de souci. T'inquiète. Bon, il y a eu un coup de téléphone. Quoi? Comment ça? J'ai appuyé sur une touche. Encore. Les ordi sont de plus en plus allumés. Ciao. Ok, il y a toujours la porte droite et gauche.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Je sais pas quoi faire. Je vais aller à gauche, hein. Qu'est-ce que je dois faire là?
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Qu'est-ce que je dois faire là? Faut que j'aille au bureau du chef, vous pensez? Je vais aller au bureau du chef, hein. Là, c'est le narrateur oublie qu'il a déjà relancé le jeu. Stanley essaie de suivre l'histoire, mais il est empêché. Il ne peut aller nulle part ni faire quoi que ce soit. Le jeu se relance tout seul. Ça, on l'a fait ou pas? Retrouvez la ligne, commencez à suivre la ligne, trouvez une réplique parfaite du bureau qui commence à se dégrader. Essayez de créer une histoire ici. Et le narrateur relance le jeu. Ensuite, il n'y a plus de bureau, seulement un espace noir, errer dans les ténèbres, trouver une librairie, s'ennuyer et partir. Ça c'est quoi ça? Stop, machin. Et le narrateur après est parti et au bout d'un long moment, Stanley meurt. Ah, super. Oh. Oh, il m'a empêché d'aller dans le bureau à balai. Il m'a empêché. Ok. Dans la nuit. Je peux pas aller là? Oh, vous pensez qu'il faut... Je vais dans la salle de bain, j'essaye. Il va péter un plomb, hein. Oh, il y a là aussi, j'ai pas fait là. C'est quoi avec ce panda là, avec un flingue sur la tempe? Ça, j'ai fait. Ça, j'ai pas fait. Là-bas, j'ai pas fait. Je vais aller dans la salle de bain. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Super cette salle de bain. Ok. Go to the water. Water. Ok, j'ai un ascenseur là. Je fais quoi? Je prends l'ascenseur là? Je fais quoi les gars? Bon, j'y vais hein. Je descends ou je monte? Oh, je monte encore. Tout à l'heure je suis descendu. Là je monte. Ouais, tous ensemble. Allez, tout le monde avec moi. Je veux voir tout le monde les bras en l'air. Ok. Si. Avec moi. Oui. Oui, c'est l'aquagym. Hein? Eh, je monte 40 immeubles ou quoi? Oh, on est où là? Oui. Oh, c'est parti. Laisse-moi sortir. Laisse-moi sortir, j'en peux plus. Ok, il fallait que j'appuie sur le bouton. Tout ça pour ça? J'ai pas trop bougé là. Allez, on est reparti. Ouais, c'est parti. Peut-être qu'il faut appuyer sur le bouton du bas. Je veux pas m'énerver. Il y a le petit Stanley à chaque fois. Vous entendez ou pas? Regardez, écoutez, écoutez. C'est Stanley qui chante là? J'ai presque envie d'attendre. Sinon on attend jusqu'à 50. La 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 li la lou la li la li la li la lou. Allez, tous avec moi. Y'a rien, y'a rien, y'a rien. Y'a rien. Posons les baguettes. Il ne se passe rien. Allez, panda. Allez, c'est bon. Allez, c'est bon là. C'est bon.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it
2,
be?
8, 4, 5.
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
C'est un bruit de clavier le piano.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Et est-ce qu'il n'y a pas un autre code? Vous voyez ce que je veux dire?
2845.
J'ai l'impression qu'il s'énerve. Est-ce qu'il n'y a pas un autre code?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Moi, j'ouvre la porte une fois qu'elle est déjà ouverte. Bonjour. Bon, ça j'ai vu, ça on a vu. Là, on est obligé d'aller par là. Est-ce que je peux monter? Oh, j'ai fait le rebelle. Ah bah non, je suis descendu quand même. Ok. Ah ouais, un loading direct? Ok.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door of the
Ah oui, le fameux.
control facility.
Alors, lui, il me dit d'aller là-bas. Mais j'ai pas été à gauche. Je vais à gauche. Allez, go.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Une mort violente au bout de ce passage? Bon, on y va. Affrontons la mort.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Je ne reviendrai pas sur mes pas. Mon choix est fait. Je n'en peux plus.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk
Complètement.
and willingly confront his death.
Je vais fumer la mort. Ah. Ah. Ah.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger
Oh la
picture.
presse.
He doesn't know the real story. Trapped forever in his narrow
Yep.
vision.
Moyen de sortir ou pas?
Perhaps his death was of no great
Horrible. Je deviens une crêpe.
loss, the eyeballs from
Crêpe simulator.
And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Crêpe simulator.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated, as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Quoi? Mais... Ah bon? The Stanley Parable. Je vais dans le noir là, dans l'obscurité. En même temps, il n'y a plus de bureau sur mon espace noir. Errer dans les ténèbres, trouver une librairie. J'en suis peut-être là.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the
Placer son
game,
bureau,
back in his office,
plus vivant
as
que jamais.
alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Je ne sais pas. Pas si mort que ça, du coup.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
Je suis au paradis.
Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Le rythme dans la section d'ouverture devrait être irréprochable. Ce couloir a été déplacé et modifié avec le joueur sur d'atteindre les deux portes au bon moment. C'est pas vous montre le bureau au début de la partie. Le chemin entre le bureau de Stanley et les deux portes. Le premier chemin conçu dans le jeu. Une section a été ajoutée et modifiée également. En général, elle restait presque inchangée. Début de la première itération. C'est vrai qu'au début, on est là, on fait ça. Après, on fait ça. Après, on fait ça. Et là, on arrive directement vers les portes. Là où il y a les deux portes. Ok. Armoire de rangement. Ordinateur de bureau. Ok. D'accord, d'accord. Le bureau. Ok. Quelqu'un me contrôle. Son de bouton. Sélection des sons entendus dans le jeu et à chaque interaction de limitation de boutons. Je n'ai jamais trouvé le 4. Chaque son est un mélange de frappe au clavier et de tonalité de synthétiseur. Le 4, je connais pas. Ok. Remerciements. C'est la fin du jeu? C'est les assets de l'Unreal Engine. J'ai comme l'impression que c'est les assets de l'Unreal Engine. Attendez, parce que là-bas, il y a des trucs encore avec des bureaux. Là-bas, il y a ça. Je vais à droite ou à gauche, je ne sais pas, là, tu vois. Là, je ne sais pas. Trouver une librairie. Je suis où, là? C'est la librairie, là, ici? S'ennuyer et partir. S'ennuyer et partir? J'en suis à là, vous pensez? Le bureau. Salle de maintenance. Attendez, mais c'est quoi là-bas? Est-ce que là, je suis dans le musée du jeu, là? Apparence de Stanley. Horloge de bureau. Bureau du chef. Je l'ai jamais vu comme ça, le bureau. Ni comme ça, d'ailleurs. C'est une...
Stanley stood on the snow.
D'accord. Salle de pause, sous-sol. La la li la lou, la li la lou. Fin de la liberté. Cette première version de la fin de la liberté pour l'alpha du jeu. Ah, c'est au tout début ça. Vas-y, sors. Je regarde pas. Okay. Liberté, ascenseur, salle des écrans. Salle du compte à rebours. C'est quoi tout ça là? Qu'est-ce que c'est? J'ai jamais mis le menu en pause. Voilà, c'est fait. Fin relaxante. Comment ça? Levier de la fin relaxante. D'accord. Je suis perdu. Au secours. Au secours. Ah bon? Je monte, hein. Je sais pas quoi faire, hein. Bureau de Stanley. Ce jeu m'angoisse quand même un peu, hein. Je sais pas, je sais pas. Je comprends rien. C'est quoi ça? Je vais là-bas, je pense, hein. Allez, j'y vais. On va là-bas.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not.
Ah bon?
Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you.
Je fais vraiment ça? Est-ce que vous pensez que je fais vraiment ça? Je fais ça et après je relance le truc? Elle m'a dit, faites échappe et quittez le jeu. Non, je pense que je le fais pas, je meurs, c'est tout. Fais le message du début, vas-y. Je fais retour au menu là? Je peux faire ça, hein. Je fais retour au menu et je relance. Par contre, si ça recommence l'histoire... Oh, c'est la fin du jeu, quoi. Après, je fais ça, hein.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a...
J'ai comme l'impression que... On est revenu au début?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ça y était pas, ça. Ça y était pas, ça.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Pour ma rip, hein. C'est le manège. Le manège, le manège.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
De rien.
You may know the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013
Okay.
on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Ok.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable delighting audiences the world over.
Ils sont tarés. Ils sont
Please
vraiment tarés.
step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the
Parce que-
thrilling new Ultra Deluxe
Parce que
content.
c'est maintenant. Donc là, c'est le nouveau contenu, ça.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
C'est reparti. Qu'est-ce que c'est que ça? Qu'est-ce que c'est que ce bordel?
Is it broken? What's going on here?
Bah, je
Should
pense, hein.
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Saut restant 36.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Ouais. Donc je dois sauter 35 fois. On en est là. On s'éclate. J'ai pas tenté plus.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive.
Ah bah ils trollent leur propre jeu.
Jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more.
Allez.
Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Ok, ok. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements.
Ah là
and
là.
it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley.
Troll Twitter.
I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills,
Il va
no
lancer le jeu.
gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Attends, parce que là, je reconnais plus là. C'est pas... Autant c'est mon bureau. Mais autant ça je connais pas ça.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Ouais. Ah ouais.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new ultra deluxe content turned out to be?
Je m'en souviens.
Thinking about the past.
Ok.
How much better the Stanley Parable used to be.
Ouais.
So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Oh. Pour que les développeurs le voient pas. Elden Ring, oh.
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my
Wow.
life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
C'est l'Unreal Engine 2. Ok, ok.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then,
Wow.
video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
La page Steam. La page Steam. 20h13, c'est pas là. Ok. Mozilla Firefox, buy on Steam. Waouh. $1. La démo. Les trophées Steam. Ok. Sacrée maison.
Je suis dans la mémorisation, c'est sur la pluie de l'eau.
C'est copyright ça ou... Ah, 2013, bah oui. C'est copyright ça? Non, je pense pas.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism. 10 out of 10 from
10 sur 10.
Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley?
C'est vraiment des trolls.
Every
Hein.
game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now, a lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Ok, ok, ok. Hmm. Stanley. 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 Open the door. Je sais pas si vous avez la ref. Stanley, open the door.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising and rewarding choices I've
Sont en train
ever
de troll
been
tous les
confronted with
journalistes.
in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Eh ben. Parce que du coup, ils ont rouvert cette porte-là, ça. Ok. Donc, faut que je revienne là.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oula.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well.
Critique des joueurs sur Steam.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Ils sont partis effectivement très loin dans leur délire. Aïe aïe aïe. Steam Reviews. Par contre, j'ai croisé personne, quoi. Ah.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is well, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me.
Je suis pour le moins choqué.
Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure.
D'avoir
Like I
déçu
let
les
these
gens.
people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Peut-être, hein. Peut-être qu'il n'est pas aussi bien que ça. Effectivement.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Je rêvais d'un bouton passé.
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can
Alors?
strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
D'accord. Le bouton skip, du coup.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal... Well, there's sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what cooking night... Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer.
Ouais.
That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
C'est vrai qu'il parle beaucoup.
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Une semaine.
I've been sitting here all that time, just sitting here, not a single
Ah,
person to
c'est de
speak
plus en plus long.
to. And you'd think that that's just... Oh, hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat
Une
down
année.
in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only
Un an.
regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities.
Un an le
There is
skip.
nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself.
Je crois que je suis tout seul. Y a quelqu'un? Y a quelqu'un? Allô? Allô? Ouais, il s'est barré. Ah bah, je crois qu'il est dead. Hein. Après un an, là, on a fait... Ouais. Oh, s'il te plaît, envoie un truc là-haut. Dégomme-le.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs down review and make all of their pitiful...
C'est long. C'est long. Arrête. Laisse-moi tranquille.
The end is never the end, 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 is never.
Bah là, j'ai qu'une envie, c'est d'avoir un snipe, un fusil de chasse, un Desert Eagle, et de le retrouver. Oh! Attends, il y avait un truc comme ça. S'ennuyer et partir. Non? Quoique non, du coup ça doit être le contenu de luxe quoi. Vous voyez, je suis coincé à vie là. Ah non, c'est bon. Bah là, on a un souci là. Hein. Ça peut être une sortie là. Excusez-moi. Excusez-moi. Est-ce que c'est possible de monter? Non, bah, je crois pas. Hein. Allez hop. Oh! Les fougères, vous vous rappelez? Putain, mais on est dans The Last of Us 2 ou quoi là? Ok, ok. Ok. Ça y est, je pète un plomb. Il y a une soirée à côté. Je vais vite skip cet endroit. La liberté. La liberté de penser, comme dirait Florent. Oh, je suis libre. Oh, ça y est. Oh, adieu. Oh, j'avance vers le soleil. Il est où le soleil? Il y a plusieurs soleils? Non, il n'y en a qu'un. On y va. Oh, salut. Attendez, je vais peut-être aller vers les cailloux quand même. Vers les cailloux, comme dirait ma fille, qui a envie de ramasser tous les cailloux. Ah.
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
J'en peux plus. J'en peux plus. Il y a vraiment une fin ou pas? En fait, le problème, c'est que je suis en train de me demander s'il y a vraiment une fin. Il n'y a pas de fin. J'ai comme l'impression que je dois aller là. Je dois aller par là, non?
Oh, good. You noticed my sign.
Yes,
I have something very exciting to show you.
J'en peux plus. Mon cerveau va exploser.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable.
Du coup, je pense que j'ai fini Stanley Parable. Et là, je suis en train de faire la version de luxe.
So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Comment ça? Comment ça, il y a un moustique là? Oh, je vais fumer. Oh, je vais fumer. Il est où? Yes, je l'ai fumé. Attendez. Je l'ai. Hop. Je l'ai fumé. Hop. Hop, on essuie dans la feuille. Mais il veut pas partir, hein. Alors, qu'on regarde là. How long to be.
Peggy 18.
Ouais. C'est quoi cette violence animale là? La fameuse. The Stanley Parable. Alors. Ah ouais, c'est ça. Ah ouais, d'accord, ouais. En fait, l'histoire de Stanley Parable, Parable quoi. 1h30 l'histoire principale, 2h30 avec les extras. Et avec la version Deluxe, c'est 2 heures l'histoire, 5h30 avec les extras. Et 9 heures pour la compléter. J'ai comme l'impression qu'on a plus ou moins fini le jeu, hein.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Bon, j'ai quand même l'impression de m'être fait troll pendant pendant 2h30 quoi. Je me suis fait troll pendant 2 heures.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than
Carrément.
Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
Ah bah carrément.
Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and
C'est vrai.
long-term franchising potential.
Ah, ça tu l'as trouvé à Ikea ça. Non mais c'est complètement vrai. Ah, je peux pas ouvrir la porte. Deux are back, 2 doors. Ah oui, en mode comment ok. Comment on l'appelle quoi. Bah ça c'est le mieux en fait hein. Je pense que c'est le mieux. Autrement il y avait celui-là aussi qui était pas mal je trouvais. Ça c'est efficace. Efficace pas cher. The Stanley Parable Remake Remastered of the Death Ultimate Edition. tu fais ton Square Enix là. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII, Réunion, Rebirth.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
Ok. Oh.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Oh, please no screenshot. Comment ça? Décoration de bureau, trou sans fond. C'est quoi là-bas? Collectible. Free, new, plus easy achievement. Your name in the game. Oh, ça je veux voir. Ça je veux voir.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in
Imagine
mind,
le jeu du
my
Mystere
first
et tout.
addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along.
Le troll.
Love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and
Okay.
simply become a person named
Je suis Jim, je suis Jim.
I want you to imagine yourself
Je suis Jim.
living as Jim, sleeping and waking
Ok,
as
je dors, je dors, je dors,
Jim,
je dors.
falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim,
Je suis Jim.
seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim,
Ok.
and as Jim, watching your dreams crumble into dust.
Super, je suis Jim.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right
Complètement,
now?
complètement, complètement.
If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Ok, attention, je suis Jim, je suis Jim, je suis Jim.
Jim.
Waouh.
Yes, you see, what a thrill, what a rush. That was you.
Ouais, ouais, ok.
The button described you.
Oh oui, encore,
Do it again,
encore.
do it again.
Encore.
Jim.
It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would
J'avoue,
still
tu
be
fais
worth
bien
the
name.
money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation. Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you
No.
actually are.
Jim.
Bon. Et qu'est-ce qu'on fait là? On regarde encore des trucs là? sur ce jeu? On se dit qu'on a fait le tour? Qu'est-ce qui se passe là? On a compris.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Épilogue. Succès gratuit, trou sans fond, paramètres champion du monde. C'est-à-dire paramètres champion du monde. D'accord. Là, il y a le trou sans fond. Ouais, that's new. Tout à l'heure, lui, il regardait de l'autre côté. On en parle ou pas? Lui, il était tourné de l'autre côté, c'est sûr. D'accord, il est sur une plateforme qui tourne. Je vais pas m'énerver. Tout va bien. En fait, il est sur une plateforme qui tourne. Ok, exit, sortie. Sortie. Oh non. C'est là la sortie. You are here. C'est là. Sortie, la sortie. Je nous rends du fou. Je nous rends fou. Effectivement. La sortie.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is very awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to both the exhibits for the bucket and the collectibles. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves both of them. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles and the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now.
D'accord.
No? You're just going to ignore my advice?
Oui.
Fine. No fun new content for you then. You're the one who spent money on this game.
C'est vous qui aurez perdu de l'argent, pas moi. No screenshot. Oh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
Ok.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it is.
I'm ready.
I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind.
Ah, les fameux sauts.
Different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
C'est troll.
I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Quoi? Comment ça? Hein?
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where
C'est la
he
même
was
chose.
employee
C'est sûr, c'est la même
number
chose.
427.
C'est pareil.
Employee
C'est
number
pareil, on le
427's
sait.
job was
On le sait tous.
He sat at his desk
Nous
in
aussi qui m'a
room
piqué là.
427
Ça on le
and
sait
he
aussi.
pushed buttons on a keyboard.
Ok, j'ai skip.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Retourne to the Stanley Parable Expo Hall. Ok. Je vais pas y aller.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
Peut-être
up
qu'au
to
bureau
his
de son chef,
boss's
ça.
office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Ok.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Au bureau du chef, bien sûr. Got the feeling, money for stealing, but not yours, of course. Cette, le purse. Il avait pas écrit ça la dernière fois. Ok.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Deux doigts du Alt F4.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
J'y brûle le jeu. Allez, go. Je sais même pas où je vais, je sais même pas pourquoi j'y vais. Je sais pas ce que je fais. Là, il y aura le coup d'électricité, voilà. Là, il y a un truc, mais je sais pas ce que c'est. Là, il y a une flèche jaune. Là, j'y étais, là, j'y ai déjà été. Bon, je retourne là. Hein. J'y retourne, mais il faudra que j'appuie sur on à la fin. Ça, on le sait. Le Alt F4, ils ont dû le piéger, c'est vrai. C'est tellement vrai. Quoique, je sais pas. Mais oui, ce serait bien possible. Toujours le 234, le 104. Et le 601 ou 602. Mais ça sert à rien. On était là-haut tout à l'heure. Le 104 et le 601 ou 2, je sais pas. Ok. Là par exemple 234 on pourrait presque regarder. Qu'est-ce qu'il montre quoi? Il montre un bureau. Ok.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it couldn't be true.
Carrément.
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time?
Il montre des bureaux. Un bureau, deux bureaux, trois bureaux.
Boring job, that his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it.
Je ne peux pas l'accepter.
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad, or content, walking, eating,
Bon, avec les fameux 1, 2, 3, 4,
all of it monitored and commanded from this very
5.
And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in,
Ça fait quoi d'aller
Stanley
là?
decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another
Ça fait rien.
human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Bah tout à l'heure j'ai fait off, mais je vais faire on. Tout à l'heure j'ai fait off, je fais on, ok?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need
Je
to
prends le
understand
contrôle de la
there's only
machine.
so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go.
Huh?
Turn the controls off and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex.
Ah,
How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start.
OMG.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing
Exactement.
right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no.
Il sait exactement ce que je fais.
Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save
Ça fait rien.
Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30
Comment ça?
seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown.
Comment ça?
Will you cling desperately to your frail life? or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count.
Je me barre.
It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at
Il a le
every
4.
second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever up.
Salut. Alors le truc c'est que... Continuer sur les écrans, s'aventurer... C'est même pas marqué dans la fin que j'ai noté. Je crois qu'on va s'arrêter là, non?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Je crois que ça y est, hein. Ça fait 4 fois que je le dis, mais... Et ça, par contre... Est-ce qu'il faut pas que je trouve des ordis qui ont ça? C'est peut-être ça depuis le début.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Je commence à
this was
m'endormir
not
dans
the
l'écran.
correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge
Ouais, moi aussi,
first,
je pense que...
just to admire it.
Je pense que là...
Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
On va arriver de ça, clairement, ouais. Là, il y avait une autre porte, non? Attention, Alt F4.